James Yap reacts on Kris Aquino's statement about hurting her feelings. Find out what he said here. Recently, Kris Aquino publicly expressed his hurt feelings over James Yap's decision not to tell their son, Bimby, about his newborn son with Italian girlfriend Michela Cazzola. Aquino shared that it pains her to be the one to break it to Bimby, but she was happy that her son took it maturely and even wanted to see his half-brother. When asked about his side over Kris Aquino's pronouncements, James Yap chose to stay silent and refused to comment. Yap said, adding that he wanted his two sons to grow up close to each other if he is to decide. Meanwhile, Cazzola is too excited and kept on talking about their son MJ in an interview. However, she seldom posts pictures of the baby and explained, "Oh cool. No. I'm very jealous. He's for me only. I just want to keep his privacy." Invite you to watch the video. Watch this. Duterte speaks on Al Jazeera interview about U.S. relations and drug war. Al Jazeera invited Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte on an exclusive interview to speak about his controversies that include United States relations, the drug war, and his savage comments about some foreign leaders. Since Duterte took power, he has overseen the killing of more than 3,500 people in his war on drugs, offended world leaders and strained relations with the U.S. In the video, the president cleared his issues on the conflicting reports about the military ties between U.S. and Philippines. He said verifies the potential cease of several long-withstanding agreements between the two countries, including military exercises, the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, and even the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. Invite you to watch the video. Attorney Trixie Angelus slams de Lima. Says, "I will defend my president against your naked attempts to oust him from his position," following the pronouncement of de Lima to file charges against the president to test his presidential immunity from suits. Many Duterte supporters were angered and questioned her loyalty to the country. One of these is attorney Trixie Angelus, a lawyer, who slammed de Lima and accused her that she is planning to oust the president. In a letter written by Angelus, she said that she will defend Duterte against de Lima by any means. Her full post goes like this. "Dear Senator de Lima, read your exhortation, and I quote, you are not expected, or should be made to believe you're obligated to defend your elected leaders' behavior after they assume power. Those acts are their own and you have all the right in the world to voice your objection. Don't let anyone make you feel that you are complicit to their crimes just because you exercised your right to vote. I do not feel compelled to defend my president, right or wrong, Senator. I do however feel compelled to defend my country from your ill-disguised attempt to oust a duly elected leader. And I would like the freedom to call out my president were it not for the fact that I know you would use it, mercilessly, to install a leadership more disposed to looking the other way about the sins of your past, and I am speaking here solely of the crimes you may have committed. So you see, you do human rights and the rights of women a disservice. You have made these principles hostage in your attempts to stave off incipient criminal cases. You have made them strategic initiatives. Because, seriously? You don't believe them yourself. While Secretary of Justice, women were trafficked into Bilibid and complaints were filed by family members of inmates who were visiting them. At the House hearing on illegal drugs and accountability, every time an inmate would speak about what went on they would use the word "Baba," and I would flinch. Because they spoke of these trafficked women as commodities, like the drugs, and other amenities offered to favored denizens. While Secretary of Justice, you saw it fit to disobey an order from the Supreme Court yet have the gall to insist now on the rule of law and due process. And you weren't above the Aquino naming and shaming campaign either. Are you really concerned about the dead, Senator? Are you really pro-women? Because right now, all I see is that you are pro-de Lima. So yeah, I will defend my president as against your naked attempts to oust him from his position. And while I reserve the right to call him out on his mistakes, I will defend him first from the likes of you. Invite you to watch the video. Emotional ex-GF of brutally killed Adamson student shared last conversation on Facebook. You are always in my heart. Nick Russell Olnett, ex-girlfriend of the brutally killed Adamson students, Nick Russell Olnett, who was robbed and stabbed 18 times in Tagig, shared that her former lover stayed single to finish his studies. On her Facebook post, Esmu Gallego emotionally shared her conversation with a late architecture student. The two remained friends even after their breakup, which she called the best lesson in my life. Onya told her that love life is not my priority right now. Cause I promised that to myself when we broke up. Studies and goals in life are my priorities. He even laughed at his mom when he asked him why he chose to be single, saying, Onya even told Esmu that he believes that they were meant for each other, but God has better plans, that's why they need to go their different ways. In their last conversation, it was revealed that the two really wanted to pursue their goals first before pursuing their relationship. Gallego expressed in her post how thankful she is for Onya and how much she loved him. She said, "Thank you for everything. I know God is beside you now, telling you that He loves you so much more than we do. I love you with the love of the Lord. You are always in my heart, Nick Russell Onya." Invite you to watch the video. U.S. State Department official pressured FBI to declassify Clinton email. FBI documents. A senior State Department official sought to shield Hillary Clinton last year by pressuring the FBI to drop its insistence that an email on the private server she used while Secretary of State contained classified information, according to records of interviews with FBI officials released on Monday. The accusation against Patrick Kennedy, the State Department's most senior manager, appears in the latest release of interview summaries from the Federal Bureau of Investigation's year-long investigation into Clinton's sending and receiving classified government secrets via her unauthorized server. Although the FBI decided against declassifying the email's contents, the claim of interference added fuel to Republicans' belief that officials in President Barack Obama's administration have sought to protect Clinton, a Democrat, from criminal liability as she seeks to succeed Obama in the November 8 election. The FBI recommended against bringing any charges in July and has defended the integrity of its investigation. Clinton has said her decision to use a private server in her home for her work as the U.S. Secretary of State from 2009 to 2013 was a mistake and has apologized. One FBI official, whose name is redacted, told investigators that Kennedy repeatedly pressured the various officials at the FBI to declassify information in one of Clinton's emails. The email was about the deadly 2012 attack on a U.S. compound in Benghazi, Libya, and included information that originated from the FBI, which meant that the FBI had final say on whether it would remain classified. A State Department spokesman, Mark Toner, said Kennedy was not pressuring the FBI but was just trying to understand better how the FBI's classification process worked. The dispute began in the summer of 2015 as officials were busy reviewing the roughly 30,000 emails Clinton returned to the State Department ahead of their court-ordered public release in batches in 2015 and 2016. The officials said the State Department's Office of Legal Counsel called him to question the FBI's ruling that the information was classified, but the FBI stood by its decision. Soon after the call, one of the official's FBI colleagues received a call from Kennedy in which Kennedy asked his assistance in altering the email's classification in exchange for a quid pro quo. The FBI official said he also joined at least 2 discussions in which Kennedy continued to pressure the FBI about the email. The official said Kennedy appeared to be trying to protect Clinton by minimizing the appearance of classified information in emails from the server that Clinton used while she was the country's most senior diplomat. Agencies say no quid pro quo. In a separate interview summary among the 100 pages released on Monday, another unnamed FBI official confirmed a discussion of a quid pro quo. He said Kennedy told him in a phone call that the FBI's classification of the email caused problems for Kennedy. The official said he told Kennedy he would look into the email, which he had not yet seen, if the State Department would consider allowing more FBI agents to be posted in Iraq in exchange. The State Department and the FBI both confirmed that a conversation about the email's classification and an increase in the FBI slots in Iraq took place, but both agencies said there was no quid pro quo. After a year-long FBI investigation into the server, FBI Director James Comey said in July he found that while laws governing classified information may have been broken, no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges. He said, however, that Clinton and her staff had been extremely careless in handling information that had been classified to protect national security. Toner, The State Department spokesman said there was no quid pro quo, and told reporters that it was the FBI official who raised the possibility with Kennedy of allowing more agents in Iraq during the conversation about the email. After the conversation took place about the upgrading classification, at the end of that, there was a kind of, "Oh, by the way, hey, we're looking at how we want more slots in Iraq," Toner said, calling it a clear pivot in the topic of conversation. No increase in the FBI Iraq slots resulted from this conversation, he said. The FBI also confirmed both topics were raised in the same conversation, and that the FBI official who discussed the email in Iraq with Kennedy has since retired. Although there was never a quid pro quo, these allegations were nonetheless referred to the appropriate officials for review, the FBI said in its statement, which did not say what the outcome of the review was. Trump calls it collusion. Other officials have made similar complaints to investigators of unusual pressure not to mark information as classified in Clinton's emails last year. According to earlier documents the FBI released last month, at least one official at the State Department told investigators that there was pressure by senior department officials to mislead the public about the presence of classified information in Clinton's emails ahead of their public release. A summary released on Monday showed at least two other State Department officials making similar allegations. One official who worked in the State Department's office that deals with Freedom of Information Act requests told investigators they felt intimidated by senior department officials if they suggested that any of Clinton's emails on Benghazi contained classified information, and named Kennedy as one of the officials who pressured employees to not label anything as classified. The State Department has said these allegations are also false. Ultimately, the FBI told Kennedy that declassification was not possible, according to the interview summaries, and the State Department posted it online last year marked as classified, with heavy redactions. Clinton's Republican rival for the White House, Donald Trump, posted a video online on Monday in which he said the FBI documents showed corruption at the highest levels. This is collusion between the FBI, Department of Justice and the State Department to try and make Hillary Clinton look like an innocent person when she's guilty of very high crimes, Trump said. Later on Monday, Trump proposed a series of ethics rules he said would crack down on government corruption, including a 5-year ban on former administration officials lobbying after leaving government and a lifetime ban on senior officials lobbying for foreign governments. He said former President Bill Clinton had a 5-year lobbying ban but lifted it at the end of his administration. Obama put his own revolving door rules in place at the beginning of his time in office. Several Republican lawmakers called on Obama to investigate Kennedy and remove him from the department. Toner of the State Department said Kennedy has the full confidence of John Kerry, Clinton's successor as Secretary of State. Reince Priebus, the Republican National Committee's chairman, said in a statement that Obama, who is campaigning for Clinton to become his successor as president, was trying to shield Clinton and that she cannot be trusted with classified information. Paul Ryan, the top elected Republican in the U.S. Congress, referred to the FBI summaries on Twitter. "This bears all the signs of a cover-up," he wrote. In 2015, Clinton repeatedly said she never sent or received classified information via her server, but since the release of the FBI report in July she has said she relied on the judgment of her subordinates at the department. Robbie Mook, her campaign manager, downplayed the account from the FBI interview summary, telling reporters it was not uncommon for officials within a department to fight over classification. Thank you for watching videos. You remember the likes and comments below. Thanks.